Hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes.
Today, we're going to talk about, us, our personalities, how we're different, but also how we have been able to make this work. And
It's working?
I would say, I mean,
I'm just messing with you, man.
it looked like it's working. Yes, because
Yeah.
so often, of course, couples are always going to be different. You're not going to always act the same, be the same, do the things the same way. And he and I are very different, but then in a lot of ways we're really alike.
Yeah.
So that's really crazy. It's like we think the same thing sometimes. Like
Yeah.
if I'm getting ready to say something, you was getting ready to say something, you'd be like, man, get out of my head. I
Hey,
was just
yeah.
thinking about that. So there are a lot of things that we do have in common, more than what we have, you know, that's
Uncommon.
uncommon.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Uncommon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to start or
Go ahead.
well, for one thing, Joe is more of a, I would say, a people's person.
Mm.
I don't care where we go, what we do. Joe will find somebody to talk to. He walk up to people, get a brother some. I be like, do you know him? No.
No.
Like, talk to people. And I had to learn that about him because I'm more of an introvert, I guess you could say.
Mm.
I speak to people, hi.
Mm.
But I'm not going to just walk up to somebody and be like, hey, girl, oh, I love what you. I'm just not going to do that. And I had to get used to that with him. But I later began to realize that that's just who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been that way. And I'm not that way. So once I got, to the place to where I'm like, okay, this is just him. There's nothing wrong with him being himself. Then it didn't bother me as much. But first I used to be like, okay, why are you walking up to random people, you know, saying stuff and you don't know these people? So I've gotten used to it now.
Yeah, for me, it's like, you don't know, I don't know, what people's day are like or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could just bring some joy in somebody's life, but like you said, I'll talk to anybody. I mean,
Anybody.
it don't matter. I'll sit down and talk with anybody. When I see him, like you say, in a store or whatever. If I see him, hey man, let me get that hat when you get finished with it, and they'll laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, man, you can. And it starts a conversation, because we can't be so. To me, this is me. We can't be so into ourselves that we can't be into people. Sure, people have different personalities because me and you are almost opposites on that level,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not opposites on other levels.
Yeah.
Because my wife, she'll be quiet. I even have to ask her sometime when we're home.
Yeah.
You all right? You ain't got. I told her the other night. I said, "Dog, you can mighty quiet." I said, "I hope I ain't done nothing wrong." And I said, you know, I'm just chilling."
Yeah, I'm just chilling.
But I be used to her because we talk a lot. I be used to her talking,
Mm-hmm.
and when she don't talk, I'm like, oh Lord, I must be didn't do what I was, I must be, but it don't even be that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something I have to deal with myself too. Like I told you the other night, I said I'm getting better. I said because 'cause normally I would run up the stairs and try to get to her. Hey, how you doing? So, oh Joe,
Yeah, he act like he ain't seen me all day.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, didn't I just see you 5 minutes ago?
yeah, but I just came. I just you get the fumbling there.
I just came up here to look for my shoes.
Yeah,
Like, but Joe, you got your shoes on.
Oh,
Oh.
but I think it's good though
Mm-hmm.
that the two, because what's this saying? It said opposites attract.
Yeah.
And it's good that we like that
Mm-hmm.
because even though I might be outward with people, I'm also inward with people too now.
Yeah, you do have your moments.
Yeah.
Some days you talk to everybody, and other days you don't feel like talking to nobody.
Nobody, yeah.
Yeah, that is true. I guess you just both have our ins and outs about our personality and things like that. And so but as far as overall, I would think he and I, both of us are kind of laid back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think that's why we get along so well. I wouldn't say, I don't know, our personality really is laid back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're pretty much laid back and easygoing. You know, we don't demand a lot from each other or ask a lot of each other. We pretty much satisfied with whatever we get, wherever we find ourselves at. We've learned to be content because we know that, you know, situations and circumstances don't last forever. And that has taught us a lot to be grateful. Why are you laughing?
I just thought about something. Go ahead and finish talking.
No. I want you to.
And this is something me and you talked about. We was at a conference, sitting down with a well-known minister. And I mean, they're well-known. I mean, worldwide. I mean, we were just sitting down talking with them. And they knew us, you know, it wasn't that it was something random. So we were sitting down and we were just as happy and moving on, you know, and they looked at us and said, how can y'all be so happy when y'all don't have an abundance of a lot of things? And it was like,
we were kind of shocked. Like,
yeah,
oh, we don't?
Yeah, I thought we did, you know, but people feel that you have to be extravagant in your relationships. Mm-hmm. This lady here is so laid back. I'm laid back. That's what I thought about when you said about being laid back. We so laid back, man. We rather, even though we can be in front of the camera or ministering here or whatever, we're at our best when we on the backside.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's not important for us to be, you know what I mean? Mm-mm. It's not important, you know, whereas a lot of people would think that it is important.
Yeah.
But we cool. And I'm telling it today. We so cool to whereas my wife can stay in this house 3-4 days and won't go nowhere.
Sure can. Won't bother me one bit.
Yeah, and I'm like, baby, you want to go?
No, trying to push me out the door. I'm like, nope.
Baby, you don't want to go? Nope.
Nope. I'm fine right here.
Whereas with me,
every day.
I'll go to the gym. Baby, I'll be right back. I'm going to the gym. And she know where I'm at. So I'll go to the gym. I may run a little errand or whatever and come back home. But once I'm home, you know, and I think that's how we make it work.
Yeah.
When we finally understood each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's how we made it work.
Yeah, we didn't try to change each other. Because, you know, we do have an age difference, you know, between us. And we just had to get to know each other. We had to understand each other because he came from a different time and I come from a different time.
Yeah.
But we still find a way to make that work because he's taught me a lot of things I didn't know and still teach me things I don't know. And I taught him things that he don't know. Like, for instance, we have shows that we watch every night. That's when we have our time together before we go to bed, we always have shows that we watch together. And so I remember when we first got married and I, cause he was a minimalist. Every week when I would come this was when we got married, before we actually moved in together, we were living in 2 separate towns. So I would come and stay on the weekends with him and he wouldn't have nothing but the light bulb and maybe 2 things in the fridge. And I'm like, oh no, we ain't doing this here. I said, I like the refrigerator full. So I would come with abundance of food every week for us to, you know, chill and eat on. And I remember.
Wait a minute, back up to say before we got married.
Yeah.
This was after we
got that's what I said. After we got married.
Okay.
Yeah, we were already married and I was coming up for the weekend. And so I don't think you didn't have no cable. I think you had something that had a couple of channels.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I said, I got some DVDs because I'm an old school person. I love old school shows, Jefferson's, Good Times, stuff like that. Donna Reed, that's me. So I was like, I got Dallas DVDs. You know, I said, you want to look at that? And he was like, what is Dallas? I said, wait a minute. You never heard of the TV show Dallas, JR, Bobby? He was like, I don't know what that is. And we started looking at that when we first got married. And it took us, oh man, we got married in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
It took us a couple of years to finish because we looked at every season. So it took us a couple of years to finish. But that was just something that we did together and something that I introduced him to. I also introduced him to a different world because he never looked at it.
No,
he didn't know nothing about it. And I was like, you never heard of that? So, he introduced me to that. And he introduced me to, because I never looked at Andy Griffin, different things like that we introduce each other to different things. So I think it's good to be different, but it's all about how you handle it, because if we would try to change each other, I don't think it would have worked out so well.
Yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, because even now, I'll look at something, and if it gets irritating to me,
oh boy,
man, you can go ahead. I don't want to see that. And I think sometimes it frustrates you.
Ooh, I get irritated.
Yeah,
because he'll want to do it 1 minute.
Yeah,
and then he's like, man,
I don't want to see that foolishness. I guess I'm getting finicky.
I think so.
You think I'm getting finicky?
Because we both
impatient.
Because I think we both change as we getting older.
Yeah. We
start to change. And then another thing about him that's different from me. This brother is very, very, very observant. He watches everything.
Yeah.
Somebody told him that one day. You don't miss nothing. He's like, nope.
No.
I sure don't.
No.
Because you said your daddy taught you that.
Yeah. Can I give the scenario?
Sure.
Me and my dad was sitting down one Saturday, because we had this little plumbing business. I used to work with him, and we went home for lunch. And we were sitting down watching a Western. I'm thinking it was I forget the name of the Western.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he said, "What you see?" I'm like, "What do you mean what I see?" He said there were 4 sets of people in the saloon, because the shop was in the saloon.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "You got these fellas over here sitting at the gambling table. They're gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Say, if someone was to come in that door, they're so concentrated on the cards that they can get knocked off."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Okay." He said, "Now, see those guys sitting at the bar drinking?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Eventually they're going to become intoxicated, and them girls going to keep running down them stairs, and before you know it, they'll be going with one of them girls, and they can get robbed." I said, "Okay." I said, I can see that." He said, "Now," no, it was 3 sets of people. He said, "Now, you see them fellas sitting with their back up against the wall?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I guess they ain't got nothing to do." He said, "No." He said, "That's the person that you need to be. Put your back up against the wall, because as long as you got your back up against the wall, nothing can come behind you and hurt you." Say, but you can see everything that's in front of you, so you'll never be in danger. And from that point on,
Mm-hmm.
you can call it nosy, you can call it whatever you want. I keep my back up against the wall, and not only just that, because it allows you to see people for who they are, allows you to see situations for what they really are. It allows you to be able to escape situations, because you're not caught in all that other stuff that's going on around you.
Mm-hmm.
You are now looking, so that's kind of where I've always been, man.
Yeah, he's definitely that. I don't care where we go. I do not care where it is. Grocery store, whatever. Joe is like this. He's scanning everywhere. Sometimes I used to be like, I said, "Why you being nosy?" I just say that.
Yeah.
"Why you being nosy?" He said, "I ain't being nosy. I'm just watching. That's all."
Yeah.
And I learned that from him. I'm like, okay. And then he would see things I didn't see.
Yeah.
Because I be one track mind. I just be going forward. I don't be looking at nothing around me. But he's always been very observant, and I've appreciated that with him, because like I say, he's seen things I couldn't see. And then I've seen things he couldn't see.
Yeah.
So, it's like we're observant in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worked for us, because it's helped us to be a help to one another, even, in the times that we may not make the best decisions.
Yeah.
We learn from it.
Yeah.
We talk about what we did wrong, and we learn from it. We say, you know what, next time we need to do more of this and less of that,
Yes.
or less of that and more of this.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so we've learned, from especially, lessons about getting caught up in our emotions when it comes to people.
Excuse me.
We've had to learn hard lessons with that. And so I thank God for those lessons, because it's taught us. But there's something that we do to grow together. Is, we sit and talk about it. Say, okay, but this is what we do, this and do it like that and do it like this. So though you may, have personality differences, the main thing, like we said earlier, is not to try to change the other person, because it's going to cause more frustration than anything. But you have to kind of learn, how can our differences work together?
Right.
How can we, though we see things differently, we react differently, how can we still walk in a place of unity? And we've always, try to make that commitment that we're going to be unified.
Yeah.
Does that mean we agree on every single thing? Absolutely not.
Nope.
But we are not. We have to remember that we are not each other's enemies.
Right. Right.
And sometimes people tried to get us to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Try to get us to turn on one another. And that's the worst thing that could ever happen, is you allowing somebody to make you turn against your own spouse.
Yeah.
Because that's where you come into the dangerous part of being in a relationship.
You said a very important word: always be in a place of unity and not in a place of appeasement. Because a lot of times, spouses have a tendency to appease the other spouse instead of being vocal and being honest, about situations. And I've been guilty of that in the past, but we work through it. Whereas we don't live in a place of appeasement. We live in a place of respect, trust, and unity. But you have to work on those things. It's not just something that's given.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we both came from different eras. We came from different household type backgrounds and everything else like that. And you have to mesh those things together. It's kind of like they call it, I don't know, in the building term, it's called epoxy. It's two different chemicals. By itself, it won't do anything. But when you mesh those two chemicals together, you can place it on anything. It'll get hard, it'll stick, and it'll never pull apart. So we have to have that kind of relationship, whereas we don't live in a place of appeasement towards one another, but we live in a place of unity. We live in a place of honesty, trust, respect. We live in that place. But it takes time.
It does.
It takes time, because like you said, we different. We very different.
Yet alike.
But yet alike. Yeah.
But we just let each other be each other. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. I don't think we really had a major problem with really learning each other. I don't believe. I think as time went on, then we realized, just like with me, I like to have personal space. Every day, I need alone time. I'm just saying. I've always been that way. I just like my alone time. Sometimes it ain't got to be all day. You know what I'm saying? Because we got might as well say we got kind of like a schedule in a way.
Yeah,
I guess you could say. Where I get a couple hours to myself just to kind of wind down, do my hobbies, or watch certain things I want to watch, because we don't always watch the same things on TV. No. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, we watch separate things on TV and everything like that, and then we have things that we watch together. And he, we just had to learn that about. Yeah. Because I think at one point he was thinking that I didn't want to be around him. It's like, no, that ain't had nothing to do with it. I said, I just like having my alone time, my alone space, or my time to myself. That's just how I've always been.
Yeah. Because, like she told you, like my wife said earlier, I'm that people's person. So if I'm in the house, and she used to come on, man,
Come on now, dog.
Yeah.
Come on. Man.
Come on. You know, so I tell her, I said, look, I'm going so and so and so. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'll be back. Okay. Take your time.
Yeah.
Have fun. Don't rush to come back.
Don't rush.
Because, and she would tell me, she said, I'm going to be right here. I ain't going nowhere. You know, that meant so much to me because I be wanting to sometime, come on, baby, let's go. Man, I don't feel like going.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
okay.
guilty.
Yeah, you know, but then when she does go, I'll be so glad when she get out the house.
Yes, Lord, he do.
I'll be like, yes, go ahead on, take your time, so and so and so. Okay, I'll be right here, you know, because I guess everybody has their own time and their own niche and the way they want to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't force your will upon somebody else's will. We have to allow their will to be done. Because when you do that, then you have a cohesiveness. Again, now you have that kind of unity, you know, and that's what's most important in a marriage. You know, it's so important.
Yeah.
Even though you might be different, you know, even though you might be different, you can still be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to feel like going somewhere.
Mm.
If I don't feel like going somewhere, I'm not going nowhere. I just have to get the feeling. When I get that feeling, then I'm like, okay,
when
I'm
I
gone.
get that feeling.
Yeah, then I'm gone. I'm gone then. So, you know, you just let it be what it be.
Yeah, yeah. And I appreciate you too, for real.
I appreciate you too.
I appreciate you too. You know, you helped me a lot in a lot of areas, you know, because, you know, sometimes, and I'm just, you know, we just talking, sometimes men can feel insecure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though they're supposed to be the secure ones. And so they try to make sure that you know that I'm here, that I love you and all that. And it's like, why are you tripping, Jack? I mean, I'm here, you know. So you helped me to work on some insecure places in me.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You know, not out soft now. Y'all understand I am not soft at all. But I had some insecure things in my life that never been dealt with. And that's something you talked about. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't deal with those insecure places in us. And we bring it to the relationship or bring it to our marriage. And because it hasn't been dealt with or healed, you know, then it causes a rift in the marriage. Because like you were saying this morning, you know, we have our morning talk. Like you were saying this morning, one of the best things that we could have done in our relationship is get counseling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't somebody that knew us.
That's right. Not at all.
Yeah.
I would rather that actually.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about them taking sides.
Yeah, that's the deal. You know, it was somebody that was didn't have no skin in the game.
And she ain't pulling no punches either.
No, you know, so, but it helped us.
It did. It helped us learn more about each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, just with Joseph, what he's taught me, what I learned from him was that one thing I love about Joe is if you tell him something, you ain't got to ever worry about hearing it again.
Mm-mm.
He's like a vault when it comes to trust. You can trust him. You can tell him anything. He's a good counselor.
Mm.
And I had to learn, because from previous relationships, I was always carrying everything. And so with him, I think where the struggle with me came in at with him was that because he's a man's man, you know, and his dad took great care of his mom.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't had to want for nothing, and he, you know, took care of her and everything, and she didn't have to pay any bills or do anything like that. I wasn't used to that. So I was used to, I got to do this, I have to do that, because if I don't do it, then it's not going to get done. And I had to learn how to trust him and how to be vulnerable and open with him when it came to my insecurities concerning that, or me being afraid to be open and honest and showing my true self, because I wasn't sure if anybody could handle the real me or who I was. But with Joseph, one thing I can say, I don't care what I told him. And when I met him, I told him everything. I mean, A to Z. I done this, I done that. When I tell you I told him everything, he was the only man I would say I told every single thing that I've done. I said, because I don't want nobody coming to you saying, oh, well, I said, I'm going to tell you everything. And he didn't flinch. And I was like, man, I ain't used to that. I'm not used to that. I'm used to, I'm not used to being able to talk to somebody like that. And they don't judge or criticize about what I said. And that has been the biggest blessing for me, is knowing that he's somebody I know that I can trust. And I know that he is never, even my quirks, when I have my days and I don't act right and I have to apologize, Joe, I should have said it like that, I shouldn't have done that. He'd be like, girl, please, I ain't studying that. It's no big deal for him. But I still apologize anyway because I'm trying to grow in those areas. And I'll tell you one thing, that has been the biggest thing I could say about you that I appreciate is that, you've always been constant with me. You ain't never, if I act a fool, you don't act a fool. It's like you've always remained the same with me. And I appreciate that about you, that, you are trustworthy. You're a man of your word. If you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. You take great care of me, got me spoiled like I don't know what. And I didn't think I was going to let him do that because he told me in the beginning, I'm going to spoil you. I said, good luck. Because I'm independent. Good luck, brother.
Yeah, these independent women.
We ain't doing none of that right here. Yeah. Well, guess what, y'all? I'm spoiled. And I like it. Yeah, I like it. And I do seriously, I do appreciate, the friendship that we have.
Yeah.
And the openness that we have. And even when we don't agree, it still works out.
Yeah, we all right.
We learn not to be angry at each other for days and don't sleep together and don't talk to them. We don't get down like that at all. If we got something to say, we gonna talk about it and say it. And that has been a big blessing for me.
I remember a lot of times, it's something that we may not agree on or whatever. We let it go on by. Then a couple hours later, hey, baby, guess what? You know what? You were right. Don't ever be so prideful that you can't apologize.
Yeah.
Don't ever be so prideful that you don't think that you never wrong.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? So you have to work. And when you find out that you are wrong, be the first one. So I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. You was right. I was wrong. I just saw it from this way. But now I understand what you're saying. And you know what? You were right. That kills everything. Because you can't stand in a place of judgment towards your spouse. Nor should you stand in a place of compromise with your spouse. Because compromise is not a good thing.
Yeah.
You have to stand in a place of agreement and come to a place of agreement. And that's something that we do. We come to the place of agreement. Even if we didn't see it that way, even if time passes, you know what? What about if we do so and so and so? Because we have had to make major decisions in our lives concerning things, and it was like, well, baby, instead of doing so and so and so, why don't we do it this way here? Well, and then we come back together and say, you know what? That's right. Let's do this. Let's do that. Then so we can we always stay on the same page, and I appreciate you about that, because we stay on the same page, Now she'll fuss at me sometimes because I'm not,
I'm a natural born fusser, y'all. I can't help it. I come from a long line of fussers.
Because see, I used to because going back to what you say about my dad, I know we can't go be much longer. He took care of my mom in every way. He took care of her. She didn't want for anything. So at times when I feel like I'm just not doing enough, baby, and she told me one day, she said, man, look at him.
I'm telling you. Done more than anybody's ever done for me.
Let me tell you, let me put you down on something. Cut that out. Because you do more for me than, like you said, than anybody has ever done. And I'll be like, Baby, you sure you are? You need anything? You got everything? Anything you need me to get for you? Anything you need me to do? And one thing I've learned, I can tell her anything, even if she fuss. Because one time I used to think, well, no, I can't tell that because she won't fuss, you know. But now she said, well, Joe, did you do so and so and so? No, I didn't do it. I'll get it done. All right. Or Joe, did you do something? Yeah, I did it. Oh yeah, do just tell me. I said okay, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
It works. It works. So now I want to tell you, I appreciate you for that too.
Amen. I think that's all we got. You got anything else?
No, I ain't got that. I'm going to go to the gym in a few minutes
Well,
and
right.
give you your time.
Well, all righty then, sir. Well, we hope y'all have enjoyed this. Please be sure to follow us on our vlog. I think I uploaded the new
You did?
thing. Yes. I know it's a little blurry, but it's the Samuels, Joe and Yo. You can follow us on YouTube. We have a vlog. And join us back here on every other, I guess, Monday.
Every other Monday.
Wednesdays
Yeah.
and Thursdays. We have Wifey Wednesdays, Men of Truth. And then this Becoming One Flesh we'll be doing on Thursdays to bring some encouragement to you all.
Amen.
So we hope you all have a blessed day. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Bye.